back.
Oh,
Was it me?
we're live.
Oh, hi, everybody.
This is Soundbooth Theater Live. We're back,
Soundbooth
everybody.
Theater Live.
Yes. Let that theme song play us in.
It's The Sims.
I feel like
shopping music.
I feel like we're little birdies.
Oh,
yes. Chirping and perching on our seats here in our booths.
Island on the sea.
And then Donkey Kong comes and smashes us.
Boom, 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 boom.
Welcome, everyone, to Soundbooth Theater Live. We have a very fun show for you today. We have Mr. Justin Thomas James, Miss Annie Ellicott. They've both joined us for today. They will be performing alongside me for the Pirates of Phantasia, episode 4, which Sarah King wrote. And we just finished rehearsing that one, so be prepared, everyone. This is a dungeon crawl. Yeah.
And don't mind me. Just pretend I'm not here. I'm auditing the show.
Do not pay attention to the center of the screen.
You're auditing it?
So act natural, but also be on your best behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be on your
Blood-sucking auditors.
Yeah. What else is happening today? We have, after that show, the Pirates of Phantasia, we have another guest, Mr. James Osiris Baldwin.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have to ask James. I finally have to ask James because I've been wondering this for a while, and I for some reason keep forgetting to ask him if Osiris is made up shit or if that's actually part of his real name.
That's a good question.
Because
I know an Osiris. He was kind of a god in his time.
Yeah.
Made up.
Yeah, you go way back.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good, Jeff. Got a good bedside manner there.
Yeah. So we'll have him on to talk with us about the newest installment of Archemi at the very least. I think there's other stuff for us to talk about.
Indeed.
But that will be just one of the many topics, actually. Also, he's got a new house, and he's got cute kitties.
Oh,
Adorable.
got a really cute new house and very cute kitties, and they've got cute little toys.
I have actually petted these kitties, and you haven't, Annie.
No.
I haven't.
Maybe I'm a better person than you because of that.
That's how it works.
Well, how come
Sorry,
you got to
Annie.
pet the kitties and I didn't?
Yep.
I don't know why.
Because he
Why
only
you
gets to
petted
pet
kitties
kitties
and
when he
not
goes
me?
to James's
Oh,
house.
Annie. Oh.
It's okay,
Why?
Annie. Look, you just have to make up for it by, like, I don't know, returning some of the things that you've stolen from gas stations.
Oh.
Maybe you can catch up.
They're all in my tummy.
Well, just
That's
go
a
to the
lot of
gas
crimpets.
station, throw up on the floor. You've made up for it. Okay. After we talk to James, we will have another cinema. We're gonna go to the cinema. I keep forgetting.
Going
how
to
to
the
present
cinema.
that. We
Going
watched-
to the cinema.
And we're gonna get married.
We watched The Orphanage.
A long
I
time
watched
ago.
The
Awful
Orphanage
mashup.
over the last couple
I
of
didn't
years.
do
Annie, did you not?
anything.
I sent you the invitation.
So sorry.
You
I
are so
didn't.
bad.
I
a very
did
busy
watch
time.
The Orphanage.
All right, you're gonna
You
have to
had
throw
2
up
weeks.
twice in a gas station
been
to
a
make
busy
up for
2
this
weeks.
one.
Oh.
And
So
then
that's
do
giving
awful.
back to the gas station.
Do we have a
Oh,
request?
Simon.
I didn't. I need to put things in my schedule,
Yes,
or they
you
don't
do.
exist anymore.
Okay.
And I didn't.
All right.
I didn't write it down on my schedule.
Okay.
Is it
Lesson
troll
learned.
poll?
That's
I should
my
put
that's
it on
my
your
problem
team
as well.
week.
You should put it on my team week. I will
Yeah,
remember
next
it if it's
movie.
on my
I'll
team
Next
week.
do
movie.
that. That's
I
right.
rely
Put
heavily
it
on
on-
team week.
Thank you.
Should've
Yes,
done
Annie.
that.
For those of you watching who use Team Week or Toggle Plan,
Nobody's more
Annie is a
passionate about it than I
model-
am.
You're a big
Model
girl.
It's only
team
because
member
there's
of-
nothing in here. Like, it's all on Team Week. Like, I need Team Week to tell me who I am.
Hey, maybe
Yeah.
you need an app
An app?
so you could have Team Week in your pocket.
Yeah. I could get
Actually, a good idea. Actually, a good idea. So, the last segment is going to be our request. Mr. Dark Zuckerberg, what is the request this week?
It is a book, I promise.
Oh,
Dark Sucker.
I'm looking it up now. I'm stalling for time. Maybe I should not have said that. The book is called Twilight of the Gods 1, The Cursed Priest by Stefan Cordes.
Is this Troll Poll?
Sounds like
This is a classic, sir.
okay. So this is a classic. We will be sparkly vampires playing a lit RPG. All right.
Oh.
Now it's time for news. Yes. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, I needed that. I couldn't remember what the news was before that sound
Yeah.
came along. So we are doing our going to the cinema segments. We have themed them to promote Seance High Falls, and the finale of this season releases tomorrow. So, for any of you guys who haven't checked out Seance High Falls yet, what are you waiting for? It's almost over. Tomorrow it comes out. You can get the whole series at once. I think this next one's 35 to 40 minutes. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it's going to tie up the story. Really looking forward to it. So if you guys just check it out, please. I think you'll enjoy it. Also, yesterday, Mega Mech Apocalypse Episode 6, another finished series. Done. Actually, all 6 episodes of that are entirely free. It's based in the Raptors universe by Jamie Castle and CJ Vallon. This is a collaboration between us and Aethon Books, and it's been a really great time. We've had how many different narrators on this series? Ooh. Myself, Annie, Justin, Alejandra LaFleur, Lori
Ryan.
Catherine Winkle, Dory Sachs, Ryan Reed.
Mm-hmm. This is like a good cast.
Yeah, it's an all-star cast
Yeah.
to do this
fun series.
little superhero serial. So we call it a super serial.
Super ethereal guy.
It's a super serial. So
Like grape nuts.
yes, it is very much like
Do you eat grape nuts, Dark Zuckerberg?
so
Hey, I can't just eat blood. I gotta keep regular.
So Mega Mech came out yesterday. I think what I'm even more excited about is Zero Marked. That is the relatively shorter story. It's being called a novella by Sarah, but I think 66,000 is already a novel. I think that's beyond novella already. It's 7 hours. It's just $5.99 right now, but on Friday it will go up to $7.99. So be sure to go pick it up right now if you haven't already. And on Friday, we're bringing both Forging Zero and Zero Recall. Those are the 2 big books that I've already done in this Legend of Zero series over to the platform, and they'll be available for $12.99. And these are both, one of them's over 20 hours, the other one's like 18 hours.
19.
19. Fantastic series. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I love all the characters. Sarah has done such a great job creating this universe and creating these different alien cultures and creating like a hardcore gauntlet for the main character to be put through. It's hilarious. It's fun. It's emotional. It's got all the drama that anything could have, and it's like totally trippy sci-fi. So if you like the show that we're about to put on today, you will probably like The Legend of Zero, which is more sci-fi from Sarah King. And do we have any other news?
There was a title that we submitted to Audible relatively recently, Jeff. I believe Jeff submitted it. Do we want to talk about that one?
Okay, this is kind of a secret, guys, but Soundbooth Theater is now producing Everybody Loves Large Chests. If you didn't know, we took it away from the previous producers, and we're producing it now. I'm narrating it now. I'm replacing the old narrator.
Oh yeah,
and we're doing the whole
guy. He sucked.
full cast. He was terrible.
Yeah,
but it's a much better series now, and we've submitted it. And February 23rd, Stain, Everybody Loves Large Chests, Volume 8 will be releasing on Audible. So be sure to wait in line outside of a JCPenney until it opens, and then buy Everybody Loves Large Chests.
Yeah, and then get
8
buy that
Stain from Audible.
That's it. Yeah, just download it on your phone and
Yeah.
then just leave the line.
Yes. So February
You read it in
23rd,
the
that is
line.
releasing, and Small Chests Are Fine 2 is releasing on the same day.
God damn.
What is
Oh,
that? What is Small Chests Are Fine too?
It is a spin-off of Everybody Loves Large Chests. It is narrated by the replacement.
Dory.
Yes, the replacement Fizzy. Dory has taken
She
the role
is
of
so
Fizzy.
good at
She's-
this.
Yeah, Justin
You're
is
gonna
good
love
too.
this
He
book.
plays a big giant. A
Justin
weird-
is very
Oh,
good.
yes.
He's a very
Great,
good.
Justin.
Everybody is
And
very good. By
Katya
Dory.
is here
Dory. Oh,
too.
Katya's
So
very
good.
good. Yes.
Now, what's unique about this one? It's not going to Audible. It's going straight to SBT Direct. It'll be. I can't
That's
remember.
right.
Did we put it at 11? I can't remember if we're going to put it at $11.99 or $12.99. I think it's going to be 11. I don't remember. Okay, $12 or $13. But that's still cheaper than you would get it on Audible. And the first episode of the cinematic audio version of it will also be available for free on that day. We're starting a serial with it. We're not exactly sure what the release schedule is going to be because we're this close to finishing the first episode. We're going to see how long it actually takes for our producers to make them. It's either going to be every 2 weeks or every month, but it's going to be 7 episodes, 1 episode per chapter. And again, Dory Sachs narrates. She's done a fantastic job narrating. We have an awesome cast for it. It was a really great and fun audiobook to produce. So looking forward to having that release on February 23rd. So lots of stuff to look forward to, guys. I think that's it. Do you guys have any other news?
Just that.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. Perfect. I'm glad that
Nothing
you
else
were
is
so
happening.
informative, Justin. So here
That's what I do.
goes. It's time for Pirates of New Fantasia.
Pirates. Bum, bum, bada, bum, bum, bada, bum, bum, bada, bada.
Dark Zuckerberg is going to be doing a cappella sound effects. Yeah.
Sin wants to go to the green room.
I mean, while y'all are performing, yeah.
Get on out of here, Sam.
Ah, Sin.
Bye.
All right.
Oh no.
Oh,
God, don't leave us. Okay.
that was scary. Oh, there he is. There. Okay, here
No.
goes.
He's with us.
All right, you got
He's
that
with us
script?
in spirit. And
Okay.
There we go.
Got it. Ready.
Interior. 2 scruffy space pirates and a well-dressed businessman crawl down a dusty tunnel towards a forgotten tomb on an abandoned desert planet. Strange runes and pictographs are etched into the orange stone, lit up by the pirates' small lanterns. Man, that guy at the bar said it was just a quick crawl down to the king's tomb. This is taking forever. Does someone else want to go first? I think I've got dust in my spleen. Yep, my spleen.
You're doing great, Captain. Just keep plowing through it with your face like that.
Oh, hey, look! The tunnel's opening up. Oh, my God. My back can do without ever having to do that again.
Are you sure someone was actually down there, Captain? Down here? This dust hasn't been disturbed in millennia. Besides, how can this be a king's tomb? This tunnel is only big enough for one person at a time. Are we even in the right spot?
I'm more concerned about the spot. How did this guy at the bar know this tomb didn't carry the spot?
Especially since he didn't come down here this far.
Look, the guy used to work for the government. He said they cleared it 20 years ago. Maybe they used ground-penetrating radar. I don't know. But this is a fucking old-tech tomb, and we really need the cash. I've got, like, 50 pals left before we all starve to death, and none of you wanted to rob that old lady. Now, hold up that lantern, will you? I think this is the statue where we're supposed to push the left eyeball?
But how did he know that? I'm beginning to agree with Alex. I think something's fishy here, Trev.
Like, fishy how? The tomb was here, wasn't it? Right where he said it would be. Coordinates were good, undisturbed. We're literally feet from some of the best salvage we've ever seen. Why are you guys such worrywarts?
Oh, I don't know, Captain. Maybe because none of us wants to die of a disease that rots you from the inside and could destroy civilization as we know it?
Like it did 4,000 years ago.
Like it did 4,000 years ago. How many planets did it wipe out, Captain? Like 16?
27.
Oh, wow. When I was in school, it was just 16.
They found more.
Guys, we need this score. I don't want to take an old lady's life savings just to eat, okay?
Maybe she was a bitch?
She's an old lady, and she served you cookies.
They were pretty good cookies.
You stole from me, and we're gonna let me die. I don't see what the difference is, honestly.
You were an asshole to everyone who knew you and don't make amazing chocolate chip cookies. In fact, from that time I snuck into your house, it seemed like all you did make was a mountainous wad of toilet paper near your bed.
And when was the last time you got laid by something other than your sniper rifle, Rose?
Touché.
Yes.
Guys,
Also.
I think I found the trigger mechanism. It is the eyeball. The guy was right!
Before you push that, shouldn't we have brought Louise down here? Booby traps are her forte, after all.
The last time Louise saw a booby trap in the wild, she went home and jury-rigged the pantry to self-immolate in the case of a rodent infestation. I think we can skip it. Ha-ha! Look, there's the...
Captain? Was that luminescent cloud of shimmery green shit that just hit us all in the face what I think it was?
No?
There's no cure for the spot, Captain.
Now, I'm sure it's not what it looks like.
The laughing skull symbol on the wall with the countdown timer that just started flashing tends to disagree with that assessment, Captain. It's probably sending off a signal to the scavs when to collect our bodies when we speak, as we speak.
Wait. That timer is modern. That was bought at a Top Hat trade hub.
Imagine that, Captain. The parrot was right again.
Fuck.
Fuck what? What's going on? Is it the spot or is it not the spot?
It's the spot.
Oh.
Hold on. Don't jump to conclusions.
I wasn't even supposed to be here. I could have done this job by camera from inside the ship, but you insisted I come along and get my only decent suit dirty. Why do you think it's the spot, Rose?
Because that drunk at the pub was a scav. They're crawling the bars with a good story about an easy score, luring lonely, desperate space captains who need a quick buck into a death trap where they basically have found something they know is a trap and send the very lonely space captain straight to it. Then they'll just take the ship when everyone is dead. Just like Alex said. Isn't that right, Captain?
The tomb was unopened. There still might be loot.
Oh, there is probably loot. It's just not going to do us any good, because we're all going to die screaming.
Oh, should I call Alex?
No, don't call Alex. There's gotta be a cure for this down here somewhere. Look, there's a chamber up ahead.
I'm sorry, Captain. Did you just get us all infected with the flesh-eating super virus and then suggest we go deeper into the death trap? Because you think all the people who died from this virus would have some sort of cure?
Yes?
Oh, why the fuck not?
Wait, you're going with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's
What
right.
about the spot?
It's not like it can infect us twice. We've already got it. Besides, it's pretty clear these guys didn't go past this point. You can see where they redusted the floor after they wired the timer, and I've always wanted to see the inside of one of these tombs. I know a guy who cracked one and made 500 million pals back on my home planet before the government confiscated it.
Why did they give us a countdown timer? I mean, that's kind of evil supervillain stuff, isn't it?
Because they're trying to make us panic and run back home and infect everyone on the ship. Then they get a free ship.
What she said.
Oh, isn't that kind of irresponsible? Like, what if we ran and infected some city somewhere?
Yeah, I don't think they care about that social responsibility crap. Besides, there's the spot detectors at every major port.
Are you sure it was the spot?
Yeah, we're sure. There's a group of really nasty scavs out there who make their living off the ruins. Not what's in the ruins, but sending people to the ruins to get them killed. Thanks, Captain.
Is that mural made of platinum?
I think we should call Alex.
No! Calling Alex. He'll panic and make needless accusations and probably leave us here. Come on.
You mean he'll gloat?
Doesn't he always? Here. Help me push this rubble out of the way. We're in.
Remind me again why we are going deeper into the pit of death?
Because we're dead anyway. And tomb raiding is more fun than sitting around clawing at your face while your internal organs dribble out your pee hole.
Oh, wow. Look at how big that room is up ahead. You never would have guessed it with how tiny this tunnel is. Like a whole temple. Guys, look at these columns and the statues. This place is huge.
It really was a king's tomb.
But what about the scavs? Hmm?
Oh, they'll wait until they're sure we're dead. How long is that, Captain? A week?
Something like that. Oh, wow. I think that rubble pile was a trap that went off early. Looks like it was a deadfall or something.
We should have brought Louise.
You want deadfalls on our ship in addition to electric toilet seats, self-immolating pantries, and neurotoxic comm systems, Rose?
Yeah, you're right. This is like the temple that guy back home found. Hey, banker, do your job. What's that big urn over there? Looks expensive. Pottery worth anything on the black market?
Oh! Oh! That's a very rare vase from the Tuyin dynasty. Absolutely priceless to the right collector. Only 15 in existence.
Too bad it takes up so much space. Maybe we could break it in half and fit the pieces in a little...
I will end you if you even chip that vase, you amosexual ogre. It is a Tuyin, worth more than your entire buck-toothed family line put together. Oh, no! They left a full feast out for the king! Oh, I think this was a whole roast gore pit. Oh, big delicacy from before the fall, you know. Oh, and look at this! A matched set of Tuyin War Priest gauntlets! Oh! Odd that they're in a child size, though. Usually they're made for adults, you see.
Yeah, well, kids die too. How much is it worth?
Oh, well, look at the way they laced the gold with the osmium in the outer circuitry layer. Very refined work. I'm guessing at least 100,000 pounds. Easy.
You're starting to turn me on, Jim.
Oh! And a matched diamond brush set, complete with inkstone.
Hey, guys, I'm just curious, since, I don't understand physics and everything, but why is there no dust on the floor in here?
Good seal on the exit?
No, I mean no dust. It's like my neurotic aunt's been cleaning.
And look at this! Oh! A complete set of child-size 1st century BR War Priest robes in mint condition. Oh, this was probably actually made by the war priest child himself. The religious class manipulated a lost kind of transmutation tech, and they were expected to make their own clothes and ceremonial objects as a rite of passage, you see. And judging by the quality, if it was
I think
the
you've got a
kid
fetish for
made, it
dead
was
people's
very,
shit or something,
very
Jim.
Good. It's easily the finest quality I've seen, and I spent all my free time at the underground
what's
auction.
this pile of stuff over here?
Oh, and it's got embroidered sand-skilled lining.
I
This
don't
is
know.
absolutely unique. We're talking 30, 40,000 Aussies, maybe
All
even some
right.
roadies
Well,
more if it's a
maybe I
genetic
should just
material.
kinda-
Whose tome?
If I could just move this shit out of the way, I could find it.
The fall. And this is
Yeah, I
authentic
guess. You think I should just go pick
Fabry
it up? I don't
sword
know.
made for a child.
He
do
seems
you-
distracted. Maybe we should.
But do you know how much this is worth? Look at the maker's mark. It's actually a meringue. And its unique size alone. Oh, goddess,
okay.
I think I might need
So,
to use the little boy's room.
He wasn't kidding. He really likes old dead people shit.
Yeah. So, well, okay. The pile is moving, though.
Yeah, he's not listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe I should just
Oh,
go
and
pick this shit up.
Tea set! Complete with stand! Still in its case! Whoever this kid was, he was important to those savages. You
Yeah,
see?
he's
Look
not
at
listening
this.
to what.
Yeah. So, why would something be moving down here, Captain?
Hallucination from the spot?
Okay, but look, but did I show you the tea set? It's complete with a stand.
I
Look at
shoot
this.
it?
It's still in its case. Whoever this kid was, I told you, I just said before,
Maybe you should
but
shoot
he
it.
was important to those savages.
All right. Well, I don't know. I really feel like maybe I should shoot it.
No! You should not shoot it. This is worth more than your ship.
Maybe?
Look at this! A whole stack of ancient religious texts. Arcanists spend a fortune for these. There's a whole underground cult out there.
Huh?
who thinks
It's not
these
very
things to
big,
teach them
whatever it
mind
is.
powers, at least 60,000 piles, but a set! Oh, goodness gracious. I'm having
rats?
an absolute blast here. Only the high priests got thrones. Oh, and
too big for
thrones! It's a
rats.
throne! It's not very big, but it's a throne, and I wonder...
Another
Oh, they
trap?
would... Oh,
Like,
we're going
what,
to be
a
rich.
death robot that hides under blankets?
Totally rich.
I think I'm gonna shoot it.
Yeah, me too.
Don't you fucking dare shoot anything in here! You inbred knuckle-dragging morons!
What? We weren't gonna shoot it. Right, Rose?
No.
This is why you can't afford food.
I think it's alive, whatever it is.
Oh, of course, it's not alive. This room hasn't been touched in 4,050 years, and the surface of the planet has been inhospitable to life since the fall. There is no way anything could be alive in here.
Okay, so there's a kid with glow stick yellow eyes down here, staring right at us like we just invaded his private tomb. Why the fuck not? Got a cigarette?
I think that's he's
looking kind of angry. He just turned that blanket into a spear. Did he just turn that blanket into a spear? It was a blanket a minute ago, right? Now he's doing some sort of death whirl with it, with like one of those old movies. Is anyone else seeing this or just me?
You got a cigarette, Captain?
You know I'm trying to quit, Rose.
Give me a fucking cigarette, Captain!
Okay.
What the fuck are we gonna do now?
So, this stuff is, it belongs to...
Yep. Not only did we get the spot and are going to die horribly, but this little crotch gremlin probably owns all this shit.
I am no more a gremlin. Then you are a sand maggot, you diseased scavenger. Get out of my home.
Are we hallucinating? That's one of the symptoms, right? Hallucinations of angry little kids with glowing yellow eyes twirling spears like they're straight out of a kung fu holovid.
I think it's just all your internal organs melt from the inside, but I might be wrong.
Okay. I kind of want to kill it.
Try it, slave. I've killed tons of thousands of the most dangerous machines the Manganine could send at us. My morning shit would take more effort than it would require to crush your feeble brain out your primitive eye sockets.
Nobody will be killing anybody. Great and holy war priest. How can you even understand us?
You're infected with the calling. Of course, I can understand you.
Does the calling kill people by melting them inside?
If they didn't go through the training to properly immunize themselves beforehand, of course. Training? Why are you in my home? Why haven't my apprentices come to me? Why are you dressed like you want to die a virgin?
See, even an 11-year-old can tell, Captain.
I'm not a virgin.
Not for lack of trying. You really need to ditch that dorky hat. You're never gonna get laid in that hat.
Generally, you're not wearing hats when you get laid, Rose. Besides, this isn't his stuff. This is the scavs fucking with us. So how long ago did those scavengers leave you down here, kid? A day? A week? What's scavengers? This is my home. Sure it is. What's your name, kid? Androka Yamix Ol Tildar Gofat Tuyin the 7th, Great Greeter of the Dawn. Who are you? Where is Makir? Why is my dinner spoiled? How long have I been in here?
Androka. Oh! So, he is the missing high priest. A child!
What do you mean, missing priest? Where are my manservants? Where is Makir?
Someone started explaining this shit to me, or I'm going to start shooting things for the hell of it.
Seconded.
He's the missing link between the Tuyin dynasty and the Manganine Warplex. He vanished right before the Manganine Empire took over and precipitated the fall. Historians postulated the Manganine Warplex bribed someone in his inner circle to betray him and help them overrun his sector.
The Manganine Warplex. Those were the guys who killed everyone and left no survivors, right? Why do you speak as if they're gone? Did Makir find a way to destroy them while I slept?
So, this kid is, what, a machine?
Fuck no, I'm not Manganine. Who are you plebs?
They say he was the strongest Tuyin warrior priest and the youngest high priest in the old world. His disappearance precipitated the fall, opened up the Tuyin lines to Manganine extermination, and the records say he alone was holding them back, that he was totally unstoppable on the field of battle. Even as a child, he had more sway with the dynasty than the other high priests.
What's this shit about a priest? I'm sorry, did you say your name was Yami something? Makir would kill you if he heard you deliver such a slight so casually. My name, peasant, is Androka Yamix Ol Tildar Gofut Tuyin the 7th, Great Greeter of the Dawn. Okay. Yami it is. I ask you a question, barbarians. Where is my scribe? Makir was here just a few hours ago. Anyone got any ideas?
Nope.
Are you Manganine captives come to parley? Did our forces prevail?
Guys, I think he's actually that missing high priest.
What priest? Where's Makir? He was supposed to wake me up. I'm done with the nullification meditation, just as we agreed. Did Makir send you?
Nullification? Meditation?
To nullify time long enough to keep the manganine from discovering our lab until Makir found a cure for the calling. He said it would take 6 days at most. Then he would wake me.
You mean someone put you into cryo?
Cryo? What is this?
Oh,
It's a stasis. They freeze people when they travel between planets.
Indeed.
You mean your guides don't channel the dawn for you? If that's what you call AI sleep chambers, sure. AI? You mean such abominations still exist? Did they succeed in taking over the known galaxy? Well, we're working on that.
So where's the cryo husk, kid?
What? Cryo? I used the power of the dawn to shield myself and my companions from time as they sought a cure. They were right here when I began my meditation. Why'd they leave my sphere? They knew my influence would only extend 40 feet.
Yeah, bullshit.
You don't believe me?
We don't, share the same religious beliefs, necessarily.
Religious beliefs? Where is Makir? I'm tired of talking to peasants. Get out of my way. Don't shoot him, Rose.
If you say so.
Wait. Where did all the dust come from? When did that rock fall? Why is the paint faded? Where are the torches? Where's my entourage? And my palanquin?
So hypothetically, this could be a hallucination.
I'm no more a hallucination than your tiny breasts and your body's apparent effort to stretch into the cosmos, human.
Did he just call me a human like he's a different species?
I am a different species, you savage. I think he was trying to call you tall.
I'm only 5'12".
You are like a lanky giantess playing kickball in a field of midgets.
And what are you? An only child like Banker over there?
I am nothing like you. Once my grandfather realized he carried a genetic anomaly that allowed us to control the dawn, he, and afterwards my father, chose only the best 1,000 women to make more of our kind to fight the manganine.
How valiant of them.
We are not human, and I expect to be treated as such. Is he really a different species, Banker?
The Dawn cultists have always claimed the Tuyin elite were more than human. That the transmutation wasn't mechanical, but experts say it's just a myth.
Who are you ignorant bottom feeders? What did you do with Makir?
Like time-stopping mind powers?
That was mentioned.
You're fucking kidding me. Wait. Did you just say? What year is it?
Approximately 4,050 years after you disappeared, if the histories are accurate.
You're lying. Hey, did you say you had a cure for the spot? The what? The plague. We call it the spot. What do you mean, I disappeared? My people need me to defend against the Manganine Warplex. I've been here the whole time. I'm in charge of this sector. If I fail, everything will fall. Where's Makir?
Holy shit, his eyes just started glowing again.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, kid. My name is not Kid. It is Androcayamix Olteldar Gofat Tuyin the 7th, Great Creator of the Dawn. You will use it, or you will die.
And now his spear is glowing. Can I shoot him yet, Captain?
Pretty sure anything with High War Priest in the job description isn't something we want to fuck with, Rose. What? Priest? Did you bring one with you? Let me speak with him. Clearly I need to converse with someone with more intelligence than a sand maggot. Banker, you pretty sure this little guy's a priest from like 4,000 years ago?
I'm not ruling it out.
That's very interesting tech he's carrying. Is that spear some sort of AI mattermorph? Cybernetic implants to make his eyes glow?
They showed this in the pictographs, but it was assumed it was just a techno-cult.
So we've got an angry, glowy-eyed war priest kiddo threatening us with a sphere, while some scavs are out waiting for us to dive the spot. Captain, I need another cigarette.
Cigarettes are expensive, Rose.
So are holes in your feet. So what do we do?
Give me a minute to figure something out. Cool. So we found out what the little glowy-eyed kid's about.
Was he seen in an earlier episode?
Yeah, the episode 3, he comes onto the ship. And episodes, I guess, no, wait, this was episode 5, wasn't it? Yes, this is episode 5. It said earlier that it was 4 somewhere, and I just went with that. This is episode 5. So episode 4, he shows up on the ship. So this is kind of like a flashback to, okay, what was this cure thing about? What was this disease thing about?
I see. Gotcha.
So, yeah. Thank you, Sarah, for one more awesome episode of Pirates of Phantasia. That was really fun.
Very nice. Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah. And, we're going to need Justin for the banker from now on. He's
The bank.
definitely the
Can't
right
take anyone
guy
else.
for that one.
Thank you.
All right, so that was our first segment. Our second segment, we will have Mr. James Osiris Baldwin.
Hello.
Hello, James.
is.
Yes,
Good to see
please
you all.
please answer the question. Is Osiris some shit you made up, or
No,
He
is
answered
that
it.
a real
He
part of your
answered
name?
He answered it in the
Yeah.
chat.
No,
I
Osiris is a real word. It's the Osiris
of
is an
course.
Egyptian god.
Oh, of course, but like, did you actually get named? Is that actually or is that your pen name?
No, it's my actual name. James
Really?
Osiris Baldwin is my actual full name, and I
Oh.
use it because there is a much more famous James Baldwin.
Really?
Who was a
Also
gay
an
black
author.
Yeah, a gay black
We know
author from the
him.
USA. Really famous. So I
Incredible,
put my
yeah.
middle name so that people don't search just James Baldwin and not find my
Right.
book.
Wow,
Well,
James Baldwin really took a hard left from the stuff that he was originally writing. It's like there's dragons now, and
Yeah.
computers. Oh, remember that? Very different from
I've had a
people
few.
struggling
I've had a
in the
few
Bronx.
confused. Yeah, I've definitely had a few confused James Baldwin the Greater fans come onto my webpage looking for his books, and then they're like, "Why does this book have dragons in it?" And it's like, "Oh, sorry to break it to you."
I'm not who you think I am.
BRB, guys.
I think that instead of that tack, you should be like, "Oh, you're in luck. You accidentally found me. There's dragons."
It's
You don't
James
want
Baldwin with dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
Get bonus fantasy creatures. Yeah.
Well, James, thank you as always for joining us on the show. It's always
Always
a
a pleasure.
have you. And we wanted to get you on, this time because it's kind of it's a special time for you, for a multitude of reasons. It's been a while since we had you on.
Yeah,
So,
so Archemi 6 came out.
Yeah. Hey.
I guess the biggest piece of news was that Archemi 6 was released. In the States. So if you haven't read that yet,
hold
it's out.
on, James. Just give it a
your
second to
internet
smooth
is-
out. We're getting a little bit of lag.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. I think we're good now.
Yeah. So Crown in Black came out November 17th last year, and Archemi 7 will be out mid this year. So that's kind of I've been working on that. I've been working on short stories for the Archemi verse, and I finally worked out what my next one's going to be. So I've been thinking for a while, what is the short story that I need to tell for this series? And it's sort of eluded me for a bit. And then I realized what it was. It's the gap between where Hector escapes from Ilia in the first book with Karalti and book 2. So that's what I'm writing. Basically, him and baby Karalti fleeing across the countryside after the first novel in the series. So that's on the way. And yeah, book 7, Blaze of Glory, is coming along.
I just want to say how excited I am for that story.
More Baby Karalvi, yeah.
Yes,
It's taken
yes.
me like I've been sitting there thinking like, what the heck can I write for a short story? Because I don't like writing short stories particularly. I'm very much a long form kind of storyteller, and so short story concepts for me are always quite difficult. And then it just hit me like a bolt from the blue yesterday. What that story needs to be, and it's like, of course, why don't I freaking write like, what happens in those few days between Dragon Seed, the end of Dragon Seed, and the start of Trial by Fire. So that's what I'm working on currently. Plus the first book in the new series, Brute Force, which is coming up in March.
Right, Brute Force. So we have Archemi 6, which is already out in ebook.
Yes, and paperback.
Audio is going to be starting production very, very soon. In fact, technically, I've already started my pre-read and making notes and all that stuff. So you guys can look forward to that probably in the springtime. But you've really ramped up production. And
yes,
Brute Force you've been working on for a while. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so Brute Force, it's a totally different series to Archemi. It's not related to Archemi. It has a monster MC who is basically trapped inside a virtual blood sports simulator. He wakes up there with no memories of who he is. He's a monster. He has no idea why he's there. He gets basically a brief instruction and realizes that he's in functionally like a sort of like Mad Max cross Pokemon sim where he is competing and people are watching him and betting on him. So it's like a gambling thing. And so, yeah, he...
Oh, did we lose James again?
We lost him for a second.
And MT Noodles. MT stands for whatever he feels like at the time. It has no particular meaning. He cycles through different things from XM testosterone to murder tentacles to whatever he could think of. PhD has a very specific meaning in the name. I won't spoil it because it's a joke in the book. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of action. There's a boss fight by chapter 4, if that's any indication. And it's pretty like... I was really inspired by like Bruce Willis action movies. Like I watched Total Recall, sorry. Goodness. Oh my god, I thought I meant to blank. Die Hard, yeah. I watched Die Hard not long before I started it, and I'm like, man, I want a character that has that same energy. And so yeah, I did Noodles. Noodles sort of just came out of the blue, and he's the MC. There's a very strong supporting FMC for this series. It's not like there's not that many characters, so Archemi is kind of this big sprawling fantasy epic. Brute Force is a much more like character focused series on like three continuous characters, and there's not like a huge giant cast. And it's basically Noodles, the human FMC, Angel, and the slime that is his lesser legion companion, Lulu.
Right. I've heard a little bit about Lulu and that story there. And it's really, I don't know, I'm really fascinated by how people are getting into this like blood sport game. Can you give us a little bit about the premise of the blood sport and why people are getting pulled into this? Yeah,
so it's a bit of a headfuck. Basically, what's happening in this game is that people are being trafficked in. It's apparently, as far as they can tell from the inside, it's run by an organized criminal conglomerate called the Delta Society. And they don't know exactly who the Delta Society is, but Noodles has a rough idea that it involves the Russian mafia and at least one like Mexican cartel criminal organization. And the thing that they work out pretty early on in the series is that the audience does not know this. The audience thinks that they're volunteers and that this is a fun game that people are doing in like their, virtual reality pods or their virtual reality, immersion rigs. And they don't actually know that these people have probably been murdered and have been trafficked into this setting. They know. They figured that out pretty quickly. But the audience does not, and the AI basically like filters, censors, and deep fakes them sort of to the audience as they're doing their going through their actions. So they kind of have this like disconnection from the reality of what's actually happening in this virtual system. And it was sort of based on the premise, like, you know, because all of my books, I think very much about like what happens when you develop full immersion tech. You know, we've sort of in lit RPG, we've explored like the fun game side of it a lot in fiction. But if you think about it, like the first thing that's probably going to happen if we ever digitize people's minds is there's going to be virtual human trafficking. And so that's kind of one of the things that I'm sort of dealing with, while keeping it, you know, still pretty fun and not too like dark and horrible. But it is kind of like the underpinning like question of the series of like what happens when, you know, people can upload their minds to virtual settings and criminals take advantage of that. And then you kind of get like a sort of, you know, action adventure type story where they have to like figure out all of that from inside the game and then find ways to like impact the external world from the game.
How was it writing Brute Force compared to Archemi?
It's a totally different exercise. Like it's like dinner and dessert. Like they're two completely different flavors of fiction. Archemi is very much that like sprawling Final Fantasy style fantasy setting, so it has a lot of supporting characters, it has an immense amount of world building that goes into it. It's got a lot of it's got a storyline that is based on the beats of opera, which is actually something that the Final Fantasy franchise itself uses. So when I'm like researching the different parts of the story, I'm looking to that format actually of the opera or the operetta. And whereas Brute Force is very much based on like thriller movies, the thriller beats, so it's very much like, you know, action, and there's like pauses in between where you can sort of build on the characters and the world a bit, but the focus is really on the characters dealing with a problem. The thriller genre among authors is sometimes referred to as man with a problem. And that's very much what Brute Force is about. It's a man with a problem, or in this case, a tentacle beast with a problem.
Yeah, the natural evolution of that.
Yes, hentai tentacle beast with a problem. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about length, because Archemi, you're at book 6, and as you say,
yes,
you've got book 7 on the way.
Yes, book 6 is huge.
It is a chonker. There it is there. Oh
Lord, he coming.
Beautiful cover.
I love that cover.
Now.
Yeah, she's huge.
She's huge.
She's a big girl.
She's a real dragon. Yeah. It'll be really exciting. I think one of the reasons why I'm excited to hear that, to go back to the short story that we left 20 minutes ago, but I'm really excited to just, it's been so long in the series and we've grown up with Coralti, and we've come to this place where Coralti is a big girl. Like she's way bigger than Hector there. And has grown not just in size but also in character. So to have, you know, the next thing kind of be like this flashback to, you know, how she used to be, like the very humble beginning.
And it actually starts before she's even gained a level, because when she hatches, she's not actually level 1. She's kind of like pre-level. So she actually becomes level 1 in this short story. And I will note that the story, it will be free for everybody who wants to read it. It's not going to be something that I'm selling. I'm going to write it up probably over the next couple of days while I've got the inspiration for it, refine it, and then it's going to be published on my website for people to download. And it's also going to probably go to Soundbooth, because I suspect Justin's going to want it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. So we've got book 7 on the way. We've got book 6 already available in ebook. Audiobook is on its way. It's in the beginning stages of production. When are you planning book 7?
So I'm hoping, all things being well, we're looking at probably the beginning of August.
Beginning of August.
These are big books, so they do take me quite a while to write, especially at this point in the series. Book 7. The series is projected to be 9 books long, so book 7 is kind of like the beginning of the end of the series. It may go to 10 books, because at this point I'm running up against the books are getting too long for me to publish them in paperback, so I may have to split one. We'll see. They're pretty epic long books. So
oh wow, you updated your site?
Yes, I did. It's fancy now.
Oh, very fancy.
See all of Coralti and all of her Chunky Glory. Yeah, ignore that page. Don't go there. That's not available yet. That was available. When I still had that series published, it was available. But I have to. My webmaster's told me he would fix it, and he hasn't.
And then lastly, Brute Force. When are you projecting that will be available?
Brute Force has a hard release date of March 31st.
Okay.
And I have been discussing with Justin the possibility of Soundbooth doing things with Brute Force.
Oh yes, we will do all the things with Brute Force, James.
We'll have our way with it.
We are.
Excellent. Noodles gives 2 thumbs up and 4 tentacles up.
Where do they go up?
Exactly.
Where do those thumbs go up?
Wherever you want, Jeff.
Wherever we want. We're going to have our way with it. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, James. Just one last quick question before we move to the next segment. What are you playing these days? You're a gamer.
These days, nada. I'm not playing anything because I spent 6 months on the road, living in my van after leaving Washington, and had all sorts of adventures. Van was solar powered. It had a PC in it, and it has all sorts of nice comforts and things. It does not have an electrical system that is robust enough to run a gaming PC. So I was living off solar power for half a year, and gaming PCs chew up a lot more energy than what my solar battery capacity was. So I still have my little work laptop and my little work PC, but I do not have a gaming PC right now. I'm working on fixing that because, oh my god, do I want to play video games? I really want to get back into Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, yeah. Final Fantasy 14?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I like that MMO. It's like the first MMO I've ever played, but it's really good.
Were you playing that? I didn't know that you were playing
that.
Yeah. I was playing that with Andrea Parsoneau a while back. We should have connected.
Oh no. Yeah. I play Final Fantasy 14. I'm Vera Trash. So I play the male Vera. Monk. I predominantly play Monk. So I'm like the worst. I'm like DPS roleplay trash.
That's what I was when I was Final Fantasy 11. I played a monk. So I can definitely relate. Well,
and I'm even on Balmung, which is like the RP trash server. Yeah.
Oh, great!
I freaking love it. I love that server.
Well, if you are a gamer, if you are playing Final Fantasy 14, you definitely gotta go to that server and meet up with James.
Behold the glory that is Balmung.
And also, while you're playing Final Fantasy 14. Definitely pick up one of the audiobooks of Archemi and check that out. It's an absolutely amazing series to produce. We have an absolute blast with it, the entire team. Already stoked for book 6. And if you don't like to listen to things, then go ahead and pick up the ebook. Because especially book 6, you gotta catch up with how things are, and I've had a few fans have requested that I write a summary of Archemi, so that's something else that I'm going to do after I finish the short story. Oh, that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. Good. Oh, that's something we could put on the site on the platform, Jeff? Just book 1 summary, book 2 summary in the bonus content.
Yeah. Once we have that bonus content. Branch up, and then also what was the plan for the short story?
So the short story, I'm planning to just release that for free on my website. So it's something that people can sign up for.
Yeah, we can do the audio for that on its own. Put it on our platform as well.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
That would be another little bonus content.
Any last plugs, James? Where should people go?
Thumbs. Plugging.
What do you mean? Where should people go? Right now, goodness. I don't have any particular plugs, no. Just, Brute Force is up for pre-order already. It's coming out in end of March. And, Archemi 7 isn't up for pre-order yet, so I don't really have anything else to plug other than...
And if people want to, want updates from you, do you have a
updates? Best place to get updates from me is Facebook. The Archemi Online group that's on Facebook. I'll put a link in the comments after I'm off camera to that. And yeah, I'm in my website, obviously. I also have a very active Discord that has a really good community, and we talk all the time. Very active meme and just general discussion channels. So that's also an option.
Perfect. Well, thank you again very much for joining. It was always wonderful having you here.
It's great to hear you guys. And that banker voice that you were doing was on point with you shaking the tea set at the camera. I'm sitting in the green room laughing my ass off the top.
It's a Jungle Book teacup. This is canon. This is what the priest has.
Yeah. It's a very 11-year-old war priest kind of tea set. Yep.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks for coming on, James, and hopefully you'll be dropped by my place again sometime soon.
Yep, hopefully for sure.
We'll be dropping by your place.
Oh, also,
right,
there will be a convention in the Quad Cities, because now that I live in the Quad Cities,
right.
Matt Dinnerman was talking about meeting up there. So if you guys are doing that convention,
Might need to do that.
Which one is this?
Oh goodness, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a Quad Cities, Iowa, Illinois border convention. So I think it's in Bettendorf, Iowa, which is just on the other side of the river.
Okay.
Yep.
Amazing. Okay.
Cool.
Yes, I live in the Midwest now. I'm no longer in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. Wait, are you Central Time or Eastern Time? You're Eastern Time.
Central Time. No, Central Time.
Is it QuadCon?
Yeah, QuadCon, I think.
Central is an objectively superior.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Not too far a drive from Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, QuadCon. It's April, I think.
April. Oh, okay. We got a con down in April too. We're going to what's it called?
Yeah, we're going to JordanCon in Atlanta.
Mm.
So if that's actually around the same time, maybe we could make it work.
Maybe we'll try and give it a shot.
All right. Well, thank you again, once again, James. You have a fantastic evening, and I guess you'll be hanging out in the comments. Keep an eye on the comments, everybody.
I'll post some links.
The links are on the way. Yippee-ki-yay! Get to the chopper!
To the green room.
To the green room! Go! Get out of here! Go on! Oh, is it since corner now?
James is one of the best human beings I've hung out with.
Oh, hell yeah!
Great guy. So glad to have him on whenever he's around. So cool. I'm really looking forward to Archemi 6 getting out there. Did he say how many books deep that series is going to be?
Oh, how long 10? It's going? 10.
9
yeah, 9 books and potentially 10 if printers don't print books of 4 million pages.
That's epic. If you guys didn't know, if you guys haven't checked out Archemi Online yet, go pick up book 1. This is the first one that Justin took over production. He did a fantastic job of composing all the music for it. He did all the sound effects. I mean, like you did all the sound effects, right, for book 1?
Yeah, sound effects and music for book 1.
At what point did we start farming the sound effects out, or did you always do it?
The last book was the first one that we did, that we farmed out the sound effects.
All right.
And Harlan Guthrie did the sound effects for that one.
Right.
And then this book, I think I might actually take it on again. I was thinking about passing it on, but as I'm reading the script, I'm hearing things in my head. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that new script process, I think, is probably going to be. It's probably going to facilitate more of that kind of feeling for anyone who's actually putting it together. So, well, that's awesome. Looking forward to book 6. And yeah, what's next? We have. Is it time to go to the cinema?
This movie.
So happy to be talking about this movie. I'm going to go ahead and say right off the bat, this is the best one that we've done a review for so far.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. I'm glad you liked it. I did not expect it to have such an emotional punch to it.
Ahmed,
I really did not.
Ahmed, you are muted or some shit.
Ahmed, let's hear your thoughts.
It was so good. I loved it so much.
I liked it. Finally, he liked it.
Damn it.
I loved it. I loved it. I was like, do I give this a 10? I was like, I have to figure out how it's not a 10 because it's one of those movies that's just like,
Yeah.
Like you can't forget it. I'll never forget this movie.
Okay,
there's
guys,
so
I can't-
many left turns.
Hey,
It's
Jeff,
like
will
every
you
time
text
you're like-
me when you guys are
Yes.
done with the
She
review?
doesn't wanna hear
I do want to
spoilers.
see the movie.
You got to watch it, Annie.
I'm banishing myself.
Okay.
I'll be
I'm
back.
gonna put you in the green room.
In that vein, I am going to banish myself as well
Okay.
for the
Cheers,
evening.
Justin.
Thank you guys so
Thank you.
much. Thank you
Bye,
everybody
Justin.
watching. So
Later,
nice
Justin.
to
Thank you.
catch up with all of you and
All right. Peace. Okay, so
Oh, I just
Yes.
totally
Oh,
removed
you,
them.
you brought them back in. Yeah, those people they slacked off. They didn't do their homework.
And Annie, I mean, she knew. I gave
So
her the
good.
information.
Oh, it's okay.
So good.
Chill.
Okay,
It's next
so-
one, next one.
Who wants to pick it up first? I think Sin, you should pick it up first.
Okay, so this was produced by Guillermo Del Toro. I am assuming you noticed that information in the credits. And this particular director, I think we might have mentioned it, that he was the one who directed the Jurassic World horrible movie that came out last year.
Yeah.
But something else that I recently found out was that this was actually his very first movie that he directed. And I thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Guillermo Del Toro. I didn't even. Hit
He
me.
just
I
produced
didn't even
it.
look at it. Oh,
He produced it, yeah.
wow.
It's a Mexican
Amazing.
Spanish production, because Guillermo del Toro, of course, is Mexican, and this director is Spanish. And I was expecting it to be full on horror, and it was like this combination of different
Mhm.
genres, like
Yeah.
character drama, some horror, suspense,
Mhm.
some mystery, a
Yep.
little bit of horror. There were
Big
some creepy
mystery.
moments. When she was in that room going un, dos, tres, toca la pared.
Yeah.
And then slowly they end
Oh,
up.
it was the intro. It was a cold open, right?
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was
Yes.
that was the intro, and then they brought it back. And
Yeah, when she was trying to bring the
his
children back.
timing is so good when he brings
Oof.
things back.
It was
Because
creepy.
it was never a point where I was like, when something came back, that I was like, that was too soon. It was always like, oh, I just forgot about that.
It's coming. You know it's
Oh, it
coming.
was so good. so good.
Okay, so it caught me, the twist at the end caught me totally by surprise, and that just killed my heart. I
was
was
amazing.
just so heartbroken.
Oh, real
That was
quick,
amazing.
before we go any further.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
There's a
This will
lot.
get
We're
ruined.
we're gonna talk the shit out of this one, and this came out in what 2007.
2007, yes.
Yeah.
So
oof, what a ride.
if you haven't watched it already, do it. Go see this movie.
It's so
Uh,
good.
And so
Yeah,
go ahead and
yeah.
pause this, go watch the movie, and then come back.
Yeah, okay, for me, a few of the standout scenes. When I saw, okay, so yeah, I guess the first one is the lady getting hit by the by the van.
Why that big?
Oh, and you see,
That- dude,
and he
how
holds
often-
on her face,
Yeah.
Oh, I
in
know,
a way
it
that
was
is
so
so
gross.
confident that it's just, oh,
Dude, how often have you seen a movie where a person gets hit by a bus or a car like that, and you know it's gonna happen? You're like, oh, this is a hit by bus shot.
Right.
Boom,
I
hit
didn't
by a
expect
bus.
that to happen.
I
right?
didn't see it coming.
This,
No, it got me.
no, not at all.
Mm-mm.
It got me.
Not at all.
I wasn't even
So-
waiting
Yeah,
for
the
it.
lead up
really
to
well
that was
done there.
really good.
Yep.
But yeah, the baby carrot. Oh, just all the weird stuff. Like it was just put together so masterfully.
Yeah.
And
Honestly, those yellow poles, man. And when I
Oof.
first saw them, I was like, "That's gonna be something." Because
Well,
it was
yeah.
so clever.
Yeah.
This was more of an Alfred Hitchcock movie than the other one.
Yeah.
Because those yellow poles were like it was like they must have been metal color initially, right? And they were like, no, you gotta paint them yellow, right? I guess they're construction or something for construction.
I think what they are
like stands for like?
Well,
Are they
I'm
part of
trying
a
to remember
swing
what they're
set,
called.
or
No, it's
what
not
were
for a swing set. It's for it's for jacking up
Yes.
the foundation, like making sure that your house is jacked.
So
Like
they're supposed
if
to
your
be
if your
yellow.
foundation, if like your house kind of sags into the foundation a little too much, and it needs to be raised back up and put back up into place, that they use those.
Oh, like in what, the basement area?
Yeah, it would be in the basement.
Oh,
So
okay,
they
okay.
were even in a perfect place, like where they would be.
Right,
You know?
exactly. But obviously, I knew that was going to mean something when they
Yeah.
clattered on her and she shoves them. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, what's the point of showing this? This is somehow going to come into play. But I had no freaking idea that that's what it was going to mean. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And all the noises, the thumps, and you think, oh, is this like a poltergeist or a ghost? And no, it's her child. Oh, they got trapped.
What I
Yeah.
love was the fact that like initially you're like, oh, he's getting ideas about, because initially you're like, yeah, he must be haunted, but then after that happens, I thought back and I was like, oh, that's where he was getting the ideas of the children. Like he actually saw them in
He
the,
could
in
see
the
them.
basement.
Yes.
No, what I mean is,
Oh,
part of me
wait, but he
thinks
could see ghosts. He could, because
he did have the Shining, because that was the first thing that I was like, is he like gifted, or is
because
it that
he
he was going into the basement, he discovered it early, and he was seeing all the stuff on the walls, and that's where he got all his ideas about his friends and
Yeah.
everything else.
and also in the cave, he saw things.
Mhm.
and yeah,
Um,
that's in the beginning. I feel like that maybe that was a little bit of a red herring, right? Like he was in the cave talking to himself, so you could just be like, oh yeah, imaginary kids, maybe ghosts. I don't
He
know.
really
I don't
saw,
know.
but I mean, I think he really saw the
He really-
child
did
in
he?
there.
I don't think so.
Well, they mentioned that cave is where the kid got trapped.
Yeah.
I think because he was talking to I think he was really talking to the ghost.
So
I
you
think
you think he really was seeing?
Oh
the
yeah,
ghost?
yeah. Because like remember later on, someone told her, people who
Oh,
are
about
about to die, they're more open,
Oh,
and
yes,
and
yes.
that child had HIV, so he even kind of felt like, remember how the comment that like these little conversations they would have with each other
Yeah,
too
yeah.
about Peter Pan.
Yep.
Neverland,
Yes.
and he was like, he's never going to grow old, and that look on her face, because she knew that he
Mhm.
had this potentially life-threatening illness. He didn't
Yeah.
know he had it, but just like these little moments of dialogue between them about stuff like that, the foreshadowing too, about
Man.
Wendy, because Wendy grew old.
I love the medium scene too. I was
Yeah.
cracking up about the medium scene because of that stupid blueprint. That was to me
When he was
like
drawing
the
the
moment where
thing.
yeah, and then she goes back and he goes
Shoot.
he's like it's significant data that they're gonna like. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny actually. I was like, what is this?
I think my favorite thing about this movie is that you can interpret it as either supernatural or not, but I feel pretty strongly that it's not. Like I feel
by
pretty
the end,
strongly
though-
that there's nothing.
It
By the
seemed pretty
end,
clear
when
by
she
the end it
plays-
was.
She plays
don't
the
know.
game with the kids, and then they lead
How?
her in a way.
I mean, how you could easily explain that as she's going nuts.
Going nuts. Yeah, that's true. She just lost her kid.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
think-
oh
I
my
think
God,
the-
in that
Well,
ending
but she
scene.
didn't know at that point what had happened to her child. She was trying to find him.
Right. Well,
she
that's
didn't
what I
know.
mean. Like that.
And then
that
she
was the-
sees, when she does the toca la pared and she sees the kids. I mean, I think there was supernatural stuff going on there.
Yeah. For me, like any opportunity I have for any movie to explain it as not supernatural, I'm going to take it.
Okay.
Okay, so because I always think that that's a more clever way to do things, is to like make this possible in the real world,
I feel
make
like-
this possible without any kind of supernatural explanation,
I
and
feel
then
like it was really well casted as well.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she was a good. She was a good actor. The little
Dude,
kid. Was
I
good.
gotta say I'm crushing on that main actress. I think she's
Oh,
yeah.
Belen.
I don't know if I've
Um,
seen her in anything else. She
I
looks a
probably
little
have.
familiar.
She
does look
reminds me of what's
What
her
is-
face, the Irish actress. Hang on, I'm gonna pull her up. The one from Dune.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes.
Oh, really? You think
Yeah.
so? What is her filmography? What all has she been in?
Are you talking about Rueda?
This girl,
Belen, Rueda?
Belen,
I looked it
yeah.
up, but I
haven't
wasn't
seen
a
any of these
lot.
movies.
Can you? Oh,
This one's
it's
got this guy in it. The sea inside. This is probably a good movie.
Oh,
I
The
would've been
Body. I
surprised.
know. I know of that movie, but I never watched. I don't think I watched. Maybe I did watch The Body. I remember that title.
Yeah.
And okay, now I haven't seen Los Ojos de Julia. Yeah, that movie.
I like to try and think of ways to take the 10 away from any movie as well. If I'm going like purely by execution, it's really hard to do for this movie. I'm probably going to end up at a 9 with it, just
Wow.
for opinion. But like as far as craft, the only flaw I saw in the entire movie was just the tiniest bit of fat, which was when they go to the counseling,
The support group meeting.
the support group.
Yeah, I was wondering.
thought that scene was entirely unnecessary. I think that they lost out on an opportunity to create a little bit of dramatic tension between her and her husband.
Yeah,
I
you
think
know what?
I think that he should have been the one on, like, it should have been the same conversation should have happened
instead of
except it's her insisting that, she knows that their son is still alive, and him insisting, look, there's all these other explanations. He could have told whatever story that any of those people in that same room told, right? And it just felt weird that they were there in that support group. We never see them again. We've never seen any of those characters before. It's just this really, to me, because the movie is so well crafted, that one scene stands out to me as like just really out of place.
There was another thing for me related to that, because that whole montage-y scene was them searching, right? And they had this board up with like a map and all these push pins, but I'm like, what is that? Like, are those places they went? Or
I think they were. I think they
didn't-
were. Yeah, I think they were tracking the Benigna.
Oh, the old lady.
Yeah,
Oh, the old is that what they were doing? They were
I
following the
think
old
so.
lady.
I think they were. I don't know. That is
Yeah,
actually
that was
you know,
a little bit of a weird fuzzy.
that
like,
was a
I
little
don't know
weird,
what
and
they're-
I actually didn't even think of it. I didn't even think that was weird. It was, to me, it was just it. It
I
passed
just
right
thought
on
they
by
were
me, but
throwing
when
up
I'm-
whatever
when I think about it-
information they could.
Yeah,
yeah,
when I
but
think
they
back,
had a big wall.
Right.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was full like a police like
Right.
a police
Yeah.
chief's room. Like it was just like covered. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is all this information?
But holy crap, man! Like the
lady with the glasses was so awesomely creepy. Like she
Yes.
was another one that was.
She
great
was
cat.
when
Like,
she
Benigna.
came charging
Benigna.
out of that place.
Yeah, when she found her in the corner, like,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
just
so
like,
great.
what are you doing?
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the way she stomped off, the way she went off, and the music that they played almost seemed a little comedic.
yeah, almost.
Did you pick up on this? Like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she turned out to be holy shit. She deserved to be hit by that car.
Yeah, don't feel a bit sorry for her.
Yeah. But also, I also feel a little bit bad for her because,
Her child.
yeah.
Yeah.
The child to me was that child in particular is, in my opinion, extremely well done. Because character design wise, horrifying.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so cool that I really believed it was that kid until the very last second when we find out that, what's
You
his
thought
name?
it was her son?
Yeah, it was definitely her son. Because he was dressed in that costume when he died.
Yeah, he was copying after her son.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that.
He was the one in the friend with the sack on his head, right?
Yeah,
and it was a red herring. Also, it was like
Tomas.
you were supposed to think
So, yeah.
you're supposed to think it was him, but then think it wasn't him,
Yeah.
Wait
and
a
then
second.
be confused
Wait,
about it.
Wait,
But it was
wait.
Tomas the whole time. Put it with the he made his own mask or he found it in the basement.
Tomas was the
Yep.
dead child.
Yep.
Simone is her child.
Oh, right,
So-
right.
Yeah,
Tomas
but
never.
who
Tomas
does-
is already dead, but Simone pretends to be Tomas.
Yes.
Okay, but wait a second. When she encountered him during that
during
like
the party.
the open house thing or whatever the heck that thing was,
Yeah,
the
where
party.
they had all the.
I think her son was already gone. Her son was already trapped.
was
he was wearing the mask.
Wait a second, but when did it show her throw the things up against the door? Before or after the
After
party?
that.
I thought it was before.
No, it was after she was
after.
looking for him, and she was like, "Don't."
Then she
and
heard-
then she went in the. I don't think she went in the. She would look
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
closet. She
Right,
did.
because
when she-
there was noises in the closet. She opened it. Those things
Right.
fell out. And then she put them back, and then she
Okay, I
hears the
thought that was
crash.
before the party. I totally forgot because I
Yeah,
watched
no,
this
no,
in
it
multiple
was-
parts. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was.
So the
her.
little boy she saw in the hallway, the one that pushed her and she
That was
fell
her son,
or something
yeah.
like that was her son.
That was.
He was creepy. He was making some
he was a little
creepy
creepy kid. Yeah.
noises.
He was.
Yeah,
he
well,
was
but
also a good
remember,
actor.
He was pretending to be.
he was pretending to be Tomas, but he was upset because he found those documents in that drawer, and he was calling her a liar. Remember, because that's the end of their
That's
little.
the last time you see him. Yeah.
What do they call it? Like the scavenger hunt thing that he did.
Yeah, the game they were
Right,
playing.
when they played that game, and he finally opened that drawer, he poured the gold coins out of the folder, but that was just an excuse for him to bring it up. And then he blows up on her. Remember? He's like,
yeah, okay.
you know,
I didn't
they,
make
they
that
told me
connection at
they
all.
told me you were
Yeah.
lying. They told me I'm gonna die.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay, yeah.
That was just
Actually,
him
that was a
having
good
read the-
reason why Supernatural must have been involved, right? That was the
No.
scene right there,
Why?
because there's no way why.
Because
you're
he
saying
was-
he had found
he-
the folder before that.
He found the folder.
Oh, and he did that whole elaborate thing to get his mom in the right place, right time, so he could
Yeah.
unload on her.
And then he set up the other thing that she found, but he set that up beforehand, right? And so when the window closes, it's just kind of like to me that's the linchpin where it's like hard to say, is this supernatural or not?
You mean when the window
it could have
broke?
been a coincidence when the window falls and breaks right
Breaks,
there on
yeah.
top of the bench. Like that could have been coincidence, or it could have also been that the kid rigged that up somehow.
How do you explain the medium knowing what happened to the children though? Because nobody had known that, I don't think, until she brought that up.
I think she interviewed. I think they talked about it beforehand.
About what the lady had done with the children, poisoning the children? Because she walks in the room and she in her little state of, being able to see things.
Did she say did she say how many children were in there?
I thought she said there were 5.
Did the medium say
I
that?
thought
I
she
don't-
did,
I don't
but
know.
I would need to rewatch.
I don't think she did, but maybe. But I think there might have been I'm definitely watching this movie again to get all these details.
See if you can
and,
find things,
yeah,
that maybe we didn't
I want to
notice.
poke a hole in my reasonable explanation, I mean, it's all there and it's all debatable, and that's what makes this movie really fun to talk about. It's masterfully done. Like the tense moments, the creepy moments are really creepy. There's almost no jump scare cheap shit,
Right.
And it gives you enough line to keep you like, what's next?
Like even when they reveal certain things, like when she was doing the game at the end, and she would turn around, and you knew that at some point she was going to see one of the dead children. I don't recall that they had any sort of creepy sound effect. It was just she turned around and they're just standing there.
Yep.
And that was eerie. Just that in itself was creepy.
It was so good. It was so good.
They didn't need the scary sound to freak you out either.
Not at all.
And the whole closing of her putting the place back, remaking the orphanage.
Yeah.
That so good.
Oh, when she was getting the room ready.
She was getting it ready for the kids. And
I
then-
especially
and then the
liked
kids
that I
showed
had
up.
no idea what the fuck she was doing.
Oh, I knew that's
until
what
she
she
did
was
it.
doing.
Oh yeah, well the
I could tell
beginning of the
that's what
movie.
she
The
was
thing
doing.
is the movie does not hold your hand at all. So
Yeah.
if you're not following, you don't know who is who. It's not going to tell you. In fact, my wife brought up the point that they don't say her name again, which is Laura. They don't say her name again until she's on the beach running after her kid and she hurts her leg. That's when he calls out to her, Laura, and that's the first moment I think where I'm like, where you could be like, oh, that's definitely the orphan from the beginning of the movie, because she is the girl that's knocking on the tree and
Yeah,
doing
I
that thing.
assumed that was her from
And
the
I
beginning.
think what happened is
Oh, no,
she got a family before those other kids did, and then they were the ones that got subjected to that lady. Like
Right.
she should have been with them.
Yeah,
but
she
she
left
wasn't.
ahead of them.
She left ahead of them. She got lucky.
Right. They even
But-
mentioned you hear like a voiceover of
Yeah, they
someone.
don't really talk about who she is and respect to the place. And then when they move in, initially I didn't get it. I wasn't like, oh, this is the same. Like I didn't put it together that it was the orphanage they moved into, until they
Oh.
were talking about doing like work, like actually having kids there, remaking an orphanage or like remaking a family house. Or
Oh,
something.
you didn't read the synopsis?
No.
Oh, okay. So you went into it completely blind, except just knowing there was some sort of seance that might happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I
Okay, so I knew the synopsis kind of says that, but I don't know, for whatever reason I knew that when I was watching it, but maybe because I already knew this was about her returning to the orphanage.
Well, I should have noticed that it was the same house. I just didn't. I didn't even think about it. Like I didn't put it together until like I guess a quarter of the way through.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't like telling you anything. It just gave you clues, which
Just
I
showing you
appreciated.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the lighthouse. At the very
Yeah.
end, when she finally takes the last raspberry or whatever the poison berries that she was eating, and then the lighthouse.
I thought it was
lights
just
up.
pills.
Was it pills?
She was eating
She
pills.
was picking
She took
berries at
pills.
one point. I thought the
She
Yeah,
was-
I think
because
I
she
think
was
she was
setting
trying
up-
to replicate. I think
she
she
was
was
trying-
replicating
Oh, that was
the
for the
scene
kids.
on the
for
film.
Kids. That's right.
Yes.
The kids were eating. Those
But
were
she
important.
killed
kept
herself by
taking the
taking pills. Yeah.
And then she passes because of the lighthouse, right? The lighthouse coming back on,
Uh-huh.
signaling her to the afterlife, right? Where she is then greeted by the children.
The children, and she can be a mother to them
so
forever.
it's a happy, bittersweet.
I
happy,
know.
so good.
Right?
Yeah.
What a good ending.
It was so sad. I
What a
was
good
like,
ending.
Jeez,
It was sad. It was awful and hard, but
Yeah.
it was great. It was,
Yeah.
So my last nitpick is the husband is Carlos.
What about him?
The
I just
doctor.
they didn't do much with him. That's all.
No.
I just thought he was underutilized.
Mm.
I think that also just his character was just kind of bland.
Meh.
He didn't
Yeah.
have much of reactions one way or the other. He was pretty passive. And
in the
like,
end, he just left her.
I know. I was like,
I was like, wow. So you,
Yeah.
like he like a part of me was
He's
like,
like-
he knew she was gonna die. Like she was not coming back from this. Like he.
Yeah, and maybe he knew there was nothing he could do about it, right? Except maybe knock her out and stuff her in the car and
yeah, but then she'd just still probably go right
Right.
back.
Right.
Just,
You
yeah,
know.
that
exactly.
grief.
So,
Yeah.
so to me it seemed like he just knew what the score was, and that's kind of interesting, but not really. Like it's not. It didn't add much to it except.
No, he didn't seem that attached to the kid.
Yeah,
interestingly.
I think that if they had removed his character altogether,
It
And
wouldn't have
it-
suffered too much, right?
yeah, and
There
like
was-
if they had made her somehow, independently wealthy and some kind of, philanthropist, that it would have just cut some extra time out of the movie that we didn't need.
there
and
was
we wouldn't need that.
something else that I didn't quite understand. The medium, I think like when she's walking, when they cross, they have a short conversation, and she says that people like us were tortured, and then she shows her arm, and her arm's covered in welts. Now, was that supposed to be AIDS or suicide attempts?
I
Because
don't
they
know.
both had cuts on their arms.
That's a good question. I
And
want
was
to rewatch
Simone
that.
Simone their son, or because
No, Simone was adopted.
he was adopted.
Yeah. I assumed they were marks from ghosts that had gotten physical with her. That's what I assumed.
I don't think so. I think she was showing, hey, I'm close to death.
Oh, that's why she could see what she could see, though.
Yeah, but
See.
what specifically those marks meant, I don't know.
Yeah,
See,
that
now
was-
I feel like I want to go watch some sort of video essay on this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dive
yeah,
deeper
I'd
into
I'm sure
it.
there's stuff.
I'd love
I'm sure
to.
there's interesting
Yeah.
stuff about it.
So, all right. So I think it's time for us to wrap up this segment. What do you guys think? What are your ratings?
If I had to give this a number, I would probably
Out of
give
10.
it. If I had to give this a number, I would probably give it an 8 or an 8.5.
Yeah, same 8.
It's on up there.
The only
Yeah,
reason I say I wouldn't give it a 10 is because it just wasn't my favorite movie. Like, and not in the
Really?
sense
Right.
of I didn't love it. It's just there's a lot.
You mean
of,
out of the movies we've
out of
discussed so
all
far?
movies? I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
out of all
okay.
movies.
Because
Okay.
10 is reserved for like, oh my god, like this is.
Terminator 2.
I need to keep watching this. You know, this
Yeah.
was great. It was a great surprise, but I'm not necessarily like running back to see it again.
It's
you
a
know?
downer, y'all. It's
is,
not,
but
but it makes
mwah.
sense, you know. Like, I don't typically like movies that have sad endings. You could say,
Yeah.
well, maybe it's not. I mean, like the end of Gladiator, he was reunited with his family in the afterlife, so it was a bittersweet. But but still, it's sad because he died. Same thing with this woman and her kid. But what happened to her? To me, that seemed like the only thing that made sense. There's no way she was too tortured.
Yeah.
Even before she found out what happened to him, once she found out what happened to him, there was no way in
Yeah.
the world she was going to have a happily ever after.
Yeah. Okay. No more spoils. Annie's back.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna give it a 9. For the same reason that Ahmed said. Like, it's just not my favorite movie. That's really it. And then there's the two little flaws that I pointed out. That one scene that I think just
Wasn't
totally
necessary.
detracted from the movie. And then the husband was meh. I didn't hate him,
Yeah.
but
You just
I
kind
just
of
didn't-
there.
he just didn't really bring much to.
But still,
to
a
the
9
movie,
is
so.
a really high score, Jeff.
I mean,
so-
like I'm very much, when I watch movies, I watch it from the perspective of someone of craftsmanship, right? And so that's
Yeah.
why 9 out of 10, man.
Music
I
was
just-
excellent. When I don't notice the music, that's when I know like it was like, or rather when it's so. It's a part of it. It's like
Yeah.
printed into the film. Whereas like the Alfred Hitchcock movie, that music was sticking
Oh.
out like all that harpsichord idiocy.
it was all
just
the
like-
time. It felt
and
like it just would
right,
not
but
shut
that's
up.
what I mean, though. It wasn't all the time, but it felt like it was, right? Like
Yeah.
it's detracting.
The
it's pulling you
silence
away,
was
it's
almost
pulling you
music in
away.
itself.
Yeah, this movie was
Right. Okay.
I'm glad
So
y'all liked it.
so good. Yeah,
really
loved
good
it,
one.
loved it.
And do you have an idea for our next?
Our next one is
cinema?
our next one the stuff. Are we doing the stuff?
The
Well,
stuff.
we talked about doing the stuff, and that was in preparation for what? I
Stain.
forgot.
Stain.
For
Stain.
Everybody loves
ELC
Arch Chest.
8,
Okay,
the stuff,
and
'cause
that's
she's
in
goopy.
Okay.
Another stuffy movie is Ghostbusters 2, but that's
I
don't
mean,
know,
everyone's
it's
seen.
good.
I don't know.
Everyone's seen
I
it.
love that movie. I don't know. Like, a lot of people talk shit on Ghostbusters 2. I don't understand why. I love that movie.
I don't have much memory of it at all.
Vigo. It was all about
yeah.
Vigo.
Yeah.
That movie.
Okay,
Vigo!
so
I've seen
stuff.
it 1,000
so-
times. That movie.
So the stuff. First of all, this series of mediums, chasing mediums in film, is over. Thank you, Sin, for coming up with this idea and picking out the
Yes, that
movies.
was
I think they've been
awesome.
really great.
Yeah. No, that,
I
that
mean,
was
like,
really
not
awesome.
every movie was
Didn't
was
enjoy
good,
every movie,
but it
yeah,
was
you're
it
right.
was a good thing
it
to
was-
talk about. It was a good theme. I enjoyed talking about all these movies.
Yeah, no,
good.
I loved the seance. It was funny because we're watching it and I'm
Yep.
watching the movie and I'm waiting for the moment when it's gonna
Yeah.
be relevant because Orphanage, it was up until that seance scene, it didn't really. And then when that scene came in, I was
I
like,
had
oh,
done a
okay,
search
this is where
specifically for
this
movies
is-
that have
right.
seances in
No,
them,
I
and
know,
this
I
was
know,
one of the
but
ones. So
it's
I knew
like-
it was going to be in here
it
somewhere.
was just
Yeah.
fun to like
How was
pick
it gonna
out
happen?
the moment
Yeah.
and be like, okay, this is why it's classified in this group.
Yeah.
It was nice to get 3 completely different perspectives on it.
Right. Yeah.
The Gift, that's one kind of movie. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Alfred Hitchcock, I can't even remember the name.
Family Plot.
was
Family
some
Plot,
kind of
yeah.
movie, and this was just aces. I'm glad we watched this one last.
Yeah, me
'Cause
too.
It would
Me
have been, it
too.
would have been like downhill if it hadn't been.
All right.
like this.
So, Seance High Falls. This entire movie
Yeah.
review
Tomorrow.
series was in service
Promo for that.
of
It was a
promoting
huge
that
finale,
series. So
guys.
go
It
check it
was-
out.
Yeah.
The-
Do we have
the
artwork? Have we
finale's
shared
tomorrow.
Artwork with them? Have we ever shared any of the cover art
Seance?
with them during these shows?
No, we
Maybe.
haven't. But you know what? Hang on. The best way to see them now that we have them all is like this. Give me a second.
Annie's in Seance.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh, she
right.
was in the
She
last
plays
episode.
she plays Lilith. from the get-go.
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta find the. Give me 1 second.
I'm a little confused about one of the characters. One of the characters is named Franklin Dodge, but it's a girl.
Yep.
Was she
Yes,
just named after her
yes.
father or something?
Yes.
Her father was just wished
wanted
that
to-
she was a boy.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hang on. I'm gonna do this real quick because I think this is really dope and worth checking out in terms of the artwork. This is what's really cool about it. See, every cover
how
is
it evolves?
every cover is nearly the same, right? And now that they're all done, we
Yeah,
can,
you
like,
can
look
see
at
the
them, we can
differences.
admire them, right? So it starts here, right? And so she's looking. It's Lena Fox, and she's looking at the crystal ball, and the town's inside of it, right? And then here, I guess between these two, there's not too much difference. But then as you move through them, you know, her face, there's a
It's
fire
more and more
starting in
gaunt.
the town. Actually, that is the difference. There's a little fire, a little bonfire. And then you go, and it's getting more, and her face is getting more gaunt. Her eyes are getting more, and the fire is getting worse in the town. And then she's totally turning skeletal, and the fire is growing in the crystal ball until she's finally, like, almost a skeleton. And then, you know, you'll see, I guess, episode 8 tomorrow.
The final one.
Yeah, and then
But
you
yeah, this one,
you
she's,
find
like,
out what
nearly
that.
completely dead.
Can you see
Yeah.
what the actual image that's burning there is?
That's in the bonfire. It looks like a crucifix, but
That's
I mean,
that's somebody at the
that's like
stake.
a person,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the whole series
It's
yet.
excellent.
So
It's
pretty
excellent.
good.
I think you know, I know a lot of, you know, some of our stuff isn't up your alley. This is probably
You'll like this one.
this
You're
would be
gonna
up
love
my
this.
alley. Yes.
Yeah.
you're gonna love it. Yeah, and
All right.
listen to it with and whoever listens to
Good
it, listen
headphones.
to it with both headphones, ears, because it does not work unless it's in stereo. Like, so
Yep.
just keep that. It's not like one of those things you can stick in one of your ears.
One
and
in,
just-
yeah.
You'll hear it, but you won't get it. You know, it literally plays like a movie. There's stuff
Surround
happening.
sound.
Yep. There's people moving back and forth. There's people in different rooms. There, you know, and a lot of the sound, which this is one of the things I really love about this, and about Malevolent as well, is a lot of this. The action is interpreted completely by sound. So
the sound,
and
yeah.
there's no narrating. So they're either
Right.
in there talking, they're describing what's happening, you know, in like clever tech, clever dialogue, like, oh, look over there, you know, that kind of stuff. And if it's not that, then it's sound effects, just things happening, and you kind of just have to kind of figure it out.
All right. So next time, it is first of all tomorrow, finale of Seance High Falls. Don't forget, guys, pick up the whole series. It's all $2 episodes, so it's $14 for the whole series once the last episode is out. And next time we are reviewing The Stuff.
The stuff.
Yes. Very
stuff.
different tone.
Oh
Very
yeah.
different tone.
I am so looking forward to it, and it's in honor of Everybody Loves Large Chests Volume 8 Stain.
Yeah, where
coming
Laurie
out.
Catherine Winkle plays the stuff.
Yeah, you guys are in for a horrific surprise.
Oh, gosh.
It's so
Does.
gross. And
I
amazing.
guess
so
I'm
disgusting.
glad I didn't do the proofing
She
on
is-
that one.
Oh,
Was
you would
it really
not
that?
have liked that.
Oh no.
There was
Yeah,
a
you
lot
would
of
not.
slurping, and you wouldn't have gotten
Lots.
through that whole like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Lots. All right, so our last segment for today. Annie, did I send you an email just now?
Maybe.
It is a
Let me
classic,
on airplane mode myself.
a classic SBT poll, and this is Stefan Cordes' Twilight of the Gods 1, The Cursed Priest. And what we have here is a scene called... Now, he sent me 2 different scenes, and I don't know which scene was supposed to have won, but this is called After a Night of Drinking. I figured that would be more interesting to do. Then we have 2 female characters here.
Oh, I see. Here we are. Alina.
Alina, yeah.
I'm
All
gonna
right, so
agree
you got
with
it.
Sin.
We'll go ahead and
Smart young woman.
uh,
Doesn't fit in. Medieval scheme. Mary Young. Okay.
okay. So we have our
else?
characters.
Colin? Who's Colin? Who's
Yeah,
the
let's see.
girl? Who's the other woman?
Ex-Princess Alea. All right, so Alina, innkeeper, Josps?
Oh, ex for
Probably means Joseph's. Joseph's daughter, an independent, smart young woman that doesn't fit in medieval scheme, marry young and stay with the kids at home. She wants to see the world and experience adventures. She has a secret crush on Joseph. Okay, that can't be right. That can't be right, because that's her dad.
Incest.
So maybe it's Joss.
That's why the priest is cursed, y'all.
I think that he meant Stefan.
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant to write there. Okay, unless this is a much different book than I imagined it's going to be. All right,
sorry.
Hogrim, a dwarf who is bored with his inn and his missing adventures and action, likes dirty jokes and a cold beer, is not a big fan of royals and their behavior. Joseph, Alina's father, an easygoing and chubby innkeeper. He let Alina do her own thing and doesn't care what other tell or think about her. Colin, a good friend of Joseph and Alina. Joseph, probably. Sometimes a little bit naive, an excellent fighter and loyal person. Honor and truth are very important for him. Ex-Princess Alea, the former undead, arrogant, and conceited princess. She was undead until Stefan healed her. She is a real pain in treating everyone like her personal slaves. She is picky and dislikes nearly everyone. Stefan, the overwhelmed hero, who is focused to return as fast as possible to the real Earth and his daughter. He skipped all the introduction and help because of the secret quest he received and has no real clue what he is doing in the beginning. All right, and our Scene 1 blurb happens right after Stefan chose his character and starting zone. He appeared in Joseph's inn and tried to get info about the town and his quest. In exchange for fixing the beer dispenser, he got a free drink and later offered a daily quest for working in the inn. The getting info part escalated quickly in heavy drinking and ended in a bad hangover. Next day, he meets Alina. All right, so I'm ready to go, except I need to clean my glasses because I just can barely see right now.
Oh my God, it's just us.
So I have a lot of characters. You have 2.
Okay.
Do you want to... What do you think about Well, let's see. How much narration is there? It's a lot of dialogue.
Okay.
So what do you think?
All right. Alina and ex-Princess Leia and okay. All right. Well, I'll try. I mean, you know my limitations.
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Stefan awoke the next day with a pounding headache, a dry mouth. Wait, this is not a troll poll. This is a poll, a standard.
This is a poll. Yes.
A poll.
This is
Okay.
This is a classic
I won't
poll,
troll
not a
this then.
Yes. No trolling.
Stefan awoke the next day with a pounding headache, a dry mouth, and a sinking feeling in his stomach. He laboriously tried to get himself into a more comfortable position on the table. Feeling sick as a dog, he carefully straightened up and immediately regretted it. The room was spinning, so he had to hold on to the edge of the table to keep from falling off. He looked around, confused of why he was lying on a table.
What happened? Please. And where am I?
He muttered weakly. Loud singing sounded from the kitchen. Immediately, a stabbing pain shot through his head, and his first fragments of memory surfaced. He had stepped through the portal, landed in an inn, and had been drinking a lot with the innkeeper. The last thing he remembered was a wild dance on the counter, then total blackout. A notification appeared.
Quest failed. The innkeeper's daughter. You failed to drink Joseph under the table. He will not give you his daughter as a wife. Penalty? None.
Stefan groaned. What had he done? He didn't even remember that Joseph had a daughter, up to this point. Who had come up with the crazy idea of the drinking contest? With a loud bang, the door opened as Joseph stomped in happily. He looked like life in bloom.
You look like you've had a run-in with a cave troll. Best to fix it with a beer.
He had already disappeared again, and a confused Stefan was left behind.
Wait for me. Why are you so cheerful?
He stammered, climbing laboriously from the table and walking after Joseph, swaying.
Please, I feel bad. What was that?
Please, I feel bad. What was that about your daughter, anyway? I don't remember anything.
Then he noticed the second person and stopped with his mouth open. Joseph was not alone in the kitchen. Next to him stood a beautiful young woman with long black hair. Her green eyes flashed as she turned to Joseph. What was wrong with me? She glared at her father with an angry look. That made Joseph literally shrink into himself.
Nothing at all. I just told him about you and stuff. That's all there was to it.
He tried to wink discreetly at Stefan. His daughter snorted angrily. I'm happy without a man, so stop your matchmaking. Let people talk all they want. She gave Stefan a snide look. Where do you always find these weird men from? Shaking her head, she left the kitchen. Stefan looked at her shyly.
That was my daughter, Alina.
Stefan swallowed. The situation was visibly uncomfortable for him. Joseph laughed and slapped him on the shoulder.
And don't worry about Alina. The bet was a fool's idea. I can't put Alina through any man.
I can hear you, Dad. Alina's voice rang out from the parlor.
If you ever listened like that.
Joseph grumbled, rolling his eyes.
I think that's you.
What did he say?
What did you say?
What did you say?
I
what did
said
you say?
you can...
I don't know, sorry.
I said that you can help Stefan get rid of his hangover, if it's not too much to ask.
Stefan had to stifle a grin at how often he had such conversations with his own daughter. Joseph nuzzled him out of the kitchen.
Probably nudged is what he meant.
Joseph nudged him out of the kitchen. Under his daughter's reproachful gaze, he tapped himself a beer while grinning at her and making himself comfortable at the counter. Embarrassed, Stefan stopped in front of Alina as she pointed to a chair.
I think she says that.
Oh, sit. Stefan suppressed the urge to greet her and sat down. She put her cool hand on his forehead, and all discomfort disappeared at once. He blinked in surprise and looked at her with wide eyes.
The hangover is completely gone, and I feel great. Is it always this easy?
She shook her head. Only with healing abilities or an expensive potion. Alina scowled at her father, who mindlessly poured himself another beer. Stefan thanked her and introduced himself, with his hangover state, which in his hungover state he had forgotten. Alina generously passed over it. Gifted. It surprised me you could stand up. Gifted. It surprised me you could stand upright at all today. A drunk with my dear father is not without. She poked Stefan. She poked Stefan in the chest with her index finger. Obviously, my father likes you, but that doesn't mean I do. He's right. You're weird. No one like you has ever been here before. You have yet to earn my trust.
Quest received. Gain Alina's trust. Reward unknown.
Despite asking several times, Alina wouldn't tell him what she meant by weird. Quickly, he gave up. He didn't want her upset. Get ready, eat, and then I'll show you to your assignment. We're opening soon, and I don't want you to embarrass us. Her tone did not allow any objection, so obediently Stefan set to work. Perhaps the many waitressing jobs from his student days helped him. He was optimistic. Too optimistic. He had quickly noticed the inn was filling up with hungry and thirsty guests. Joseph was tapping one beer after another at lightning speed, and Alina was helping in the kitchen. Stefan hurried Stefan hurried through the inn with a filled tray, serving food and drinks. The guests were grumpy and could not stand him. If an order took a little longer, he was immediately berated and insulted. He rushed through the parlor and tried to fill the orders with no pause. After what felt like an eternity, it was finally time. The guests gradually left the inn, and it slowly emptied. Stefan dropped exhausted onto a chair and wiped the sweat from his brows. He had not remembered waitering in his student days as being so strenuous.
Do you want me to take narration from here?
Sure.
Is it like this every night? Stefan was exhausted. Another day like this, and he would be completely wiped out. Alina looked at her father reproachfully.
Word has gotten out that we have a special guest. In a few days, I'm sure it will be quieter.
Stefan groaned and put his head on the table. A few days. Alina threw a rag at his head.
Yes, a few days. And now get up. We still have to clean up. Then you can rest.
Joseph and Alina burst out laughing. Stefan must have pulled a pretty funny face. They quickly cleaned up and sat down at the big table in the kitchen.
The first day is done. Now we eat and drink beer.
Joseph already had a filled cup in his hand. Stefan tried with difficulty to stand up when Alina pushed him with gentle force onto the chair.
You did well. I didn't expect that. For once, I'll bring you something, just this once. But you won't get any beer.
He nodded, unable to do more. A brief smile crossed Alina's face. Plus 100 reputation with Alina. 100 out of 1,000. After providing Stefan with berry juice, Joseph sat down with him, looking exceptionally pleased and rubbing his hands together.
It was a fantastic night. We haven't had that many guests in a long time, and it was all because everyone wanted to see the new guy.
Which, of course, you couldn't help, replied Stefan sarcastically. Joseph grinned at him with satisfaction.
Let's get down to business. Here's your cut.
He pushed a small stack of money toward Stefan, who hesitated briefly, shook his head, and pushed it back. That wasn't part of our deal. I can't accept that. Joseph looked at his daughter.
See? He's a decent guy.
He turned to Stefan.
Sure you can. I'm changing our deal. Now put it away.
Plus 500 reputation with Joseph. 1,100 out of 3,000. Friendly. Quest updated. Board and lodging. Additional reward. 5% of the daily takings. That was the end of the discussion. Stefan smelled the stench of stale beer in his nose. He carefully sniffed his sleeve. His clothes were badly stained and needed some cleaning, but he had no spare clothes.
You need a bath, badly. You stink. That will drive away our guests later,
Alina announced, waving her hand in front of her face. Stefan sniffed cautiously at his armpits and flinched back. She was right. He stank. Joseph rolled his eyes. It can wait for a while. First the business, then you show... Oh, wait, Joseph, sorry.
It can wait for a while. First the business, then you show Stefan the washrooms. Besides, you don't smell like roses either, my dear.
He sniffed loudly. Alina blushed.
Don't you dare say anything.
She quickly hurried away, secretly smelling her clothes on the way.
My son, but what am I telling you? You know yourself how to serve them. So I am very pleased with you. Will you work for me another day?
Quest successfully completed. Board and lodging. Plus 100 reputation with Joseph. 1,200 out of 3,000. Plus 100 experience points. Repeating quest. Accept. Yes or no? Without hesitation, Stefan agreed. He could use the time wisely here and find out more about the city. Newt had kept a very low profile, so he didn't know when the god would get back to him. Hopefully it wouldn't take too long. Joseph slapped Stefan on the shoulder in a friendly manner and sent him off to bathe.
Stefan listened in amazement as Alina showed and explained everything to him. On Earth, there were washing machines and showers. Here, cleaning spells and magic tubs.
Bathe.
Alina ordered him, leaving him alone. While he enjoyed the hot bubble bath and washed off all the dirt, the spell cleaned his robe. After the bath, he slipped into the clean linen robe. He found slight tears at the seams. When he looked closer, information appeared in his field of vision. Light linen robe. Quality, ordinary. Durability, 75 out of 100. When he asked Alina about it later, she looked at him, confused. He pointed to the tear and repeated his question. Alina looked at him in amazement.
Don't things break at your house? You can take them to the tailor. He can fix them. I wouldn't do it, though. It's only worth it for good stuff.
The answer satisfied him for the moment. Alina paused a while.
Don't you have a change of clothes?
Stefan shook his head.
I have to go to the market tomorrow. We'll get you a change of clothes, and you'll help me shop in return. 2 of us can carry a lot more. What do you think?
Quest received. Assist Alina's shopping. Reward, 100 experience points, 100 reputation with Alina. Stefan immediately agreed. They went back into the parlor. Joseph had made himself comfortable with a beer at one of the tables and toasted them in a good mood, ignoring Alina's punishing look. Have a beer, Stefan. You've got to celebrate a good day like this. Stefan shook his head and declined with gratitude. The thought of beer made him sick to his stomach. He had enough of that for now. He let out an enormous yawn and stretched. Not today. I'd like to go to sleep, but not on the table again. It was a little uncomfortable last night. Joseph laughed amusedly. Alina took pity and showed him his room. Exhausted, Stefan fell into bed and fell asleep.
The princess never showed up.
The princess never showed up. That was, I know you were like waiting the whole time for that. My only complaint. Also, thank you, Mr. Stefan Cordes, for requesting that for our classic poll. And that will wrap up our show for tonight. So, Stefan Cordes, what is this one called again? One more time. That was The Cursed Priest, Twilight of the Gods 1. That is on Amazon right now. Go check it out if you enjoyed this little read.
Or not if you didn't, because I didn't do very well. It's probably a better book than I'm leading you to believe.
I don't think so. I think you did just fine. Yeah, that's it for today. 2 weeks from now, let's see. 2 weeks from now, we're reviewing The Stuff. I know you're all excited for it.